Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for January 16th. All right, looking at the SPY futures right now, we are gapping up just a slightly tad bit, very little. What I notice actually is that on the futures here, we are getting. Actually, let me close this, turn this off here, and you might see it a little better. On the futures here, we are seeing some sort of a little pattern here, right? We have the red consolidation day, and then 2 green days, and then red consolidation day, 2 green days, red consolidation day, 2 green days. All right. So today, I am expecting perhaps a red consolidation day. So that actually means it's just going to be very choppy and a sideways action. The way to play this type of day or anticipate if I'm going to anticipate this type of day, I am going to look for double tops at extremes highs and double bottoms at extreme lows. Okay, so let's bring into, you know what, let's take a look on the intraday. So we are nearing this top here at 2613 area. All right, so we'll have to watch this area. And the bottom here, we have found support at 2600 still, so it's going to chop around here. I don't really want to play in this area. I mean, look at this spike right here on, let's see, 2606. So basically, if I were to draw it out, let's see here, line, okay. Okay, so around this area, this 2606 area, this could be a support area, but it's very intermittent. Personally, I think the stronger support holds around this 200 SMA here, around this 2600 area. So what does that mean on the SPY? Let's take a look. Okay, so SPY, we are gapping up very so slightly. We have the 50 SMA a little bit above us right here at 261.50s. Okay, so I think it's going to test and then fail and then just going to chop around between this 261.50s to its current price, maybe a little higher to 260. All right, going into the intraday here. So I'll be watching this top area. All right, and it might just chop around here at 260. So I'm going to mark that off as well. That was today's first initial spike, right? So now it's just holding on to it. It's going to gap up a little, and then it's just going to chop around, in my opinion. So I'll be looking for plays around this area. 259 is very defined now. Prior resistance took a few days to break through, now become support. It even tested it today, and it squeezed up. Okay, I'm still not convinced this is a rally out of the bear market yet, because we are still a little bit under the 50 SMA, and the 9 EMA is just basically squeezing this gap here. We are gonna see it tighten up, and then if it's supposed to be a rally, we will be seeing in the future few days that the 9 EMA is going to cross over and scoop the price action back up and over. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. So let's get into the watch list. First up, we have Facebook. Okay, so I played Facebook today. I took it on the long ride. I guess I might as well do a little quick recap here. I took it on the long ride around the 148 area as I saw this hold, and then it came back up a little bit, and this was a pretty key support for me, in my opinion, for the next wave. So I took this long up. I know a few people in the chat room actually took it down on this first lower high here. I know our moderator, Calvo, took it here on the short. Right now on Facebook, I am watching for a gap up and then a dip and a rip. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's zoom right through here. So as you can see, Facebook closed pretty strong. We did have a very defined support here at 148 today. I was also watching this late day area. We made multiple bounces off it and then started to make higher lows. So we have overnight buyers coming in. And now that it has reclaimed, I'm going to draw this trend line up, and it's gapping up ever so slightly after hours. Okay, so what I'm watching for is a gap up, and then these buyers here will take profits, causing a dip to hold somewhere around the 148.50s. I'll be watching support hold here, and then rip it back up, and then test the highs, and essentially hit the highs of 150.50. So that's what I'll be looking for, and it's just going to chop around from here. I'll be watching for double bottoms in this area and double tops in this area here. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's Facebook. Next up, we have UAL. Okay, so UAL announced earnings after hours. This is going to be one of my main plays as well. As you can see, the earnings reaction was very good. We got a major pop. And since the futures is gapping up just ever so slightly, it really depends on how it plays tomorrow in the pre-market. I am guessing that it is going to gap up slightly. The 86 level is very key, not on the intraday chart, but on the daily chart. So let's mark that off for you right here, and I'll explain to you why 86 is very key. Okay, somewhere around here. I'm 3 pennies over. See if I can get it just right. Nope. Anyways, as you can see, if I zoom out just a tad, 86 played a very key role here. It basically is the gap fill right there. We have some sort of a breakout point from there. We have a breakdown point from this side. Also a breakout point from here, and a breakdown point from here. Okay, so what this means is the last time 86 came into play, the short sellers hammered it. It finally broke down, and I still think there are some shorts in this stock, right? Currently, if 86 starts holding, these short sellers, these long-term shorts, they are going to get squeezed, and I do see another pop coming for UAL. Because of this massive rip, I do anticipate a dip at the open though. So a gap up, dip, and rip is what I'm looking for. But if it doesn't gap up, if it opens flat, then I'll be looking for the dip to hold around this 85.50 area. So let's take a look at 85.50. Okay. And even a little bit under too. So 84 or 85 key psychological hold number. Right now we are holding at 85.90. Okay, going into the 5-minute chart real quick. So 85.50, you can see it. It made after hours support, and then key psychological hold number of 85. Now it is a tad overextended. It might dip even more, but because the gap up is quite heavy, I think I will mark off 84.50s as well. Yeah. Okay. So probably mark off one more support line, but I do anticipate a dip and a rip, or gap up, dip, and rip. So watch 86 if it gaps up. So to dip back on 86 and hold, and then rip back up. If you're long, the target should be at 87.50 and 88, which is the 50 SMA over here. Okay, so that's my thought process on UAL. Next up, we have CGC. Now, CGC, this thing I've been waiting all day. Like last night, I called for a pullback. It happened. And then it squeezed out again and squeezed out, and then another massive pullback. This pullback I missed. Going to zoom out back into the 15-minute chart, and I want you to see that we do have a very defined support area at the 41. Okay. Now the market, I don't know, this thing doesn't really move close to the market, and as well as 40. We did have a first red day on the pullback, and it closed weak. I am anticipating another drop day. My ideal target is to short it down to 40, so I'm looking for a pop and drop. Definitely looking for a pop and drop. A lot of short sellers piled in on this area right here. Okay, and then perhaps after hours they are covering. I'll be watching for the $42 mark as well as 42.30s area. Actually 42 and 42.50, so let's call that. I think this is the support, the resistance area right here. If I'm gonna be very picky about it, so 42, I can shrink this down to 30 cents. As you can see, the 200 SMA coming down on it. We have a very concise intermediate resistance zone. Okay, so as it pops, I'll be watching for that rejection signal and shorting it back down. Now, where is 42.30? It's basically the closing price of yesterday, I believe. Okay, closing price of yesterday is 42.50s. Okay, so just at the lip of yesterday's candle close right here. Okay, so I'll be looking for a pop, 42, 42.50 area, and short it back down, bring it to 40. From here, I'll pay myself and see if it actually breaks down some more. The stock is a little bit overextended still. It does need a few more days to pull back for the 9 EMA to catch up. So I'll still be watching short for CGC. NTNX is next. NTNX. Okay, so what this stock did is basically a breakout of the 46 area, right? As you can see, it consolidated here and then finally break out. Looking at the last breakout, it basically consolidated, broke out. Next day, opened, gapped down a little bit, held support and ripped. So I'm looking for a continuation green day here, or a continuation rip at the open at the very least. I'm looking for a little gap down, which we did kind of see here, although we do see a few ticks at the 49. And then a dip and a rip. So my support area I'll be watching is 48 to hold. Zoom in just a tad. 48 was basically this morning's spike here. As you can see on the 15-minute chart, it tested it a few times. Maybe, yeah, 48. Yeah, 48 is good. I like 48. It's going to come down to 48, looking for the hold or double bottom or higher low from here, and then looking for the long signal. Right here on the daily chart, $48 is basically this, right? This right here. So it needs to prove the breakout. As you can see, 48 plays very well on all these marks right here, right? As a prior support area. So a dip, hold, and rip. My target, 49.50 and the $50 mark. From the $50 mark, I'm looking for a double top action, or if it goes parabolic, I'll be looking to short it right at the 50. There's a key psychological hold number as well. Let's take a look at the 50. Yeah, I do like the 50 for the short, okay, because it's a key psychological hold number. So I want to see a dip, rip, and then short back down because after all, a breakout needs a pullback. So that's my idea on NTNX. Finally, we have INCY. INCY looks very similar to NTNX. What I'll be watching for is the test of the highs here at 79.50, which is a psychological number. And of course, I'll be watching for the $80 mark as well. Okay. $80 mark is a key psychological hold number. We are getting very close to there. And as you can see, we do have prior support that was resistance. Oh, that is now currently resistance. The stock basically filled the gap as well, so I do expect a pullback from this area. I don't want to catch along on it, but I mean, if it dips out of the gates, I'll be watching the 78 for support. Okay, which is coincidentally, first of all, a key psychological whole number. Second of all, it's coincidentally it's the VWAP, right? So a dip back to the VWAP. This will make it a double bottom from this area. Okay, and if it starts holding, then take it for a long, bring it up to the 79.50s and the 80s area, and then short it right back down. That's my plan on INCY. Okay, so that's the watch list this evening. If you guys enjoy what you watch, make sure you hit the like button, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Make sure you check out all my video links. If you have any questions about this watch list or questions in general about trading, don't hesitate to ask me. I have all my contact information in the video links as well. So I'll be looking forward to your comments, your DMs, and yeah, have a great day, guys.